about an analogy of GTM. It's a very, I would say, old, hectic kind of analogy that is there, but it is exactly like walking on a tightrope. Building international GTM is absolutely like that. Why is it so? If you go extremely slow, the problem is that with your own inertia you will fall. Okay. Second thing is if you go very fast, you would surely topple because you are not able to manage your balance. So the main point is that what exactly is your speed? What is the pace? And that pace is something which is decided with every single step when you're walking on a tightrope. I don't know anyone of you has an experience to walk on it, but you can visualize. So, but every single step you have to really start thinking about it. Am I really, is it a balance? Am I really balanced? Can I really take the next step? That's the kind of a philosophy you really have to follow. There has been a wave, I would say, where everybody like go faster, जितना जल्दी उतना पहले उतना अच्छा is great. But I'm not sure. I'm not very sure. Many of the examples are not really kind of backing that kind of philosophy at this point of time. And from online sales perspective, from the very beginning, we were never in that philosophy. From the very beginning, we were, and when you see the story and the steps of it, you would see that it has never been like that. We were very, very step by step approach. And people, we never kind of took a crazy amount of fund and just went ahead and recruited 10 people in US and 5 people in Europe and all that. We never did that. We decided that we really want to be that stable. We really want to put our foot, see that are we balanced and all those things, and then after that we go further. So immediately getting onto the story, so our story is or it's divided into three stages. The first stage is something which is know yourself stage. And that's a very important stage, trust me, and that really is still working. And just I was talking to my fellow speaker, and we realized that know ourselves stage and strengthening ourselves stage is really helping us significantly right now. So what we did is that in the first 1 or 2 years, we started, I would say that online sales as an existence is there for the last 6, 7 years. But the solutions and the kind of path that we are talking about, or I'm talking about here, is something which started close to around 4 years back. So first year is something which was purely know yourself, where we were working on our technology, refining the technology every single day, and we decided that in order to do it, let's not really go, even if our solution was validated from the day one that it can go internationally, you can go to any e-commerce company and it has a space for it. And the retail media boom, you must have started seeing the last 4 or 5 years in the e-commerce when you are buying something, the ads, sponsored ads started appearing. It's like 4, 5 years old journey. So we were extremely tempted that why not jump into it, go internationally and all that. But what we decided is that let's work with the companies in India and validate our solution to the best possible way and see that where exactly our strength lies. Because see, many times what happens is that when you start with your journey, you think that you know your strengths and the strength with which you are going. But the validation of the strength from the customer can be totally different. And that's something which is very interesting. It's kind of a revelation to us. Some of the elements which has become our strength now was not really the strength that we were envisaging when we started the story. So we started working with Indian companies. So Tata, Banerjee, and Purple was one of the few customers whom we started. A few more names. But then we started realizing what exactly our strengths are. And we started categorizing it. How do we really look at it? Because see, there are other providers, there are other solutions also. But where are we really unique there? In terms of technology, in terms of market positioning, in terms of what kind of value add that we really provide is something which we have to really see. And then we realized something very interesting. When we were talking to those guys, they started saying that the consultancy that you provide along with the solution is phenomenal. We said that consultancy, which consultancy are we talking about? And what we realized, because we are in a rev share model, okay? So all the ad spends, rev share is something that we take. So what we were trying to do is that we were, in order to grow ourselves, we were pushing very, very hard in terms of providing solution to Purple, Zepto and all those guys, and how exactly you can really scale your ad spends. Because what we really wanted is our benefit, but eventually that benefit was so tightly associated to them. They were getting benefited through that, and they were valuing that part the most. They said that, oh yeah, technology is like very good, awesome, but the kind of consultancy you provide in this entire journey is something which nobody else does it. So when we talk to our other fellow competitors and all that, their solution providers, they are giving a best tech solution, whatever that they say, but they don't provide consultancy. They don't work alongside with us to scale the ad journey. And then we realize, oh, this is a strength. We never realized that this can be our strength, and all the domain understanding and our Ashish and most of the people, as was told, that they are serial entrepreneurs. So they started with Socrates, so they knew the ad world very well. So they could able to provide that consultancy, and that became our strength. Second element is something which is very interesting, which got the puzzles kind of started putting together, kind of getting together later on. So from the very beginning, the team was extremely focused towards technology and the scalability of the technology, because they knew that they are getting into the ad world, which is where e-commerce players scale is something which is going to be amazing. The latency expectation will be like amazing. So we really have to scale it up and work on our technology solution very well. And from the very beginning, even if our solution may not come across as an API-centric solution, the entire pieces inside the technology were like all API-centric. Every single thing was a microservice. And it wasn't kind of, we thought about it from the future perspective that how are we really looking at it. But what we realized is that many of the deployments that we started doing this is that, oh, your integration is like phenomenal. We could integrate any new field with you within a matter of few weeks. Okay? And then any new customization, if we ask on top of it, you are able to provide it in such a short span of time. And then we realize, oh, that is also our strength. You see, we started with some strength in our mind that this is what we have, and what customers started telling us our strength is something which was we did not articulate it, but we realized that we have to articulate it, and that is what started giving strength that okay, now the time has come when we should experiment it outside country. Okay, so because that we got strength that okay, we know the business, we have validation, Indian customers they challenge you like to the core. So trust me, even after so many years with this, and still with my experience also, the most dreadful discussions are with Indian customers because they will push you very very hard. But that really helped us scaling our solution to a great extent. The kind of variety of features that they asked for is something that even from the international market nobody asks. So trust me, when you are building your GTM, working on India, learning from India is something which can be phenomenal journey for you. Part number one. Then we realize that okay, now we are strong. Now this is the time when we should gain some more, what do you say, sharp skills. So we let's go on our skills into some of the market where we are not tested, and let's try it out. So we tried 2-3 strategies there. So again, we did not go all out. We did not go into US and that kind of a bigger geography because the competition, the amount of investment that it would need, amount of focus that it would need, we were not really prepared. And at the same time, COVID also happened. So we realized that it is going to be very difficult, and let's look at it where exactly we do that, where what kind of market we can look at. So we thought that let's look at the market which can be a replica of India, pretty much a replica of India, where we can really the behavioral patterns, the expectations, and all those things are going to be pretty much similar like India. Let's choose one market like that, which where the success will be higher, or the chances, probability of success will be higher. Alongside, let's choose a market which is a totally blue ocean, okay, which nobody knows. So, can anyone guess what can be those kind of markets? Super, right? Super, right? Vietnam. Yeah. So we went into, so we realized that okay, India का replication where exactly it can happen. It can happen in Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, maybe. But Vietnam, all those countries, that group of countries, Southeast Asia is can be the region where Indian understanding, scale, and all that is can be replicated. Cost Because cost is also another thing, pricing is also something that we really wanted to validate. And we really didn't want to just kind of go and validate India pricing strategy for either we just go into US and just try finding out there. So we started there. And then the blue ocean came from South Africa. That was something which was like a turning point for us. So we realized that even in that geography, it's a large geography, e-commerce business is booming, but still on the radar of e-commerce space, nobody was kind of paying an attention to. All our bigger competitions, they were not really paying attention to South Africa and that geography. And Africa, we said that why not? Let's try it out. Maybe possible, let's put a bet into it because nobody is catering to their request or nobody is kind of going pitching, going to Cape Town and Johannesburg and talking to those people and say that they will be worried about its safety over and all this kind of thing. So nobody was really paying. And when we went there, we were pleasantly surprised with the amount of business that was happening and the quick adoption that has happened with all the learning that we had. Along with that, so that was a risky bet because, of course, unexplored geography. So we wanted to weigh one bet which was kind of a more or less success assured bet along with a risky bet. And we put one more risky bet along with it, which was Australia. We said that okay, that is also another geography. Let's try it out because that is also another place where many people are not focusing on, but e-commerce is booming. Let's try it out. Let's try that out. Out of these three bets, Southeast Asia worked. South Africa worked phenomenally well for us. Australia couldn't happen. And then we realized that the cultural element of Australia is something which is so significant. In Australia, people want to work with businesses who are based out of Australia. They don't want to go and work with people who are coming from different parts of the world. And the moment we realized that this is the way it is, we realized that hey, let's not really stretch it very long. Just kill our efforts there and just realize that okay, nahi hoga Australia. And that is also another important learning that we have had. The moment we have had that realization that Australia is not going to happen, we did not go into that bravado ki, अरे क्यों नहीं हो सकता मतलब of course there is a business, let's put 4 people there or 2 people there or whatever it is, travel every month but make it happen. Could have happened, but the kind of signals we got is something which is too much of effort for too little a return. Even if there is a market, we are not really ready for that kind of a no ROI effort that we did. And that's the reason we decided let's stop. Let's stop the efforts there. And we started focusing on these two geographies. We started focusing on South Africa very effectively. We said that let's build some partners. So we build partnerships. So that is also another element that you may have to come across or you will come across that charter. That where one of the most successful elements can be building the right partners. And the partners who have complementary, so there can be various, all of you must be knowing that there are various kind of levels of partner. The partners can be pure as a reseller partner or a kind of a wholesale partner or it can be a service provider and all those kind of things. But what we did is that we kind of made a strategy in that way that we should make them successful. And that is very important and making a judgment of that how good my partner is going to be successful and I should not be looking at the return from the day one where I say that hey, I want to be sure of my money, partner ka pata nahi. So we should not really get into that kind of a zone which is kind of all of us know theoretically, but practically when it comes to that, it becomes very, very tempting. Let's offer something to a partner which will just protect my interest for sure. But partner interest got this. So you really have to ask this kind of a question. And in that process, one part which kind of became very, very kind of a learning that we have had, and that's what I was discussing with Ashish also yesterday. That one thing which we avoided significantly was a confirmation bias. That because what happens is that when you start becoming a bit successful, the confirmation bias comes into the play that मुझे पता है. I know that this works. This is the way we work with partners. This is what made us successful there. This is going to make us successful everywhere also. But always asking this question, the day you say that I don't have a bias, realize that that is the day you have a bias. So always asking yourself, am I really going to a business or a GTM strategy, something which is driven by a bias? Am I really thinking that this geography is going to yield me this much of results or something? Or this geography operates in such specific way? The day you realize and you haven't really put down on pen and paper, you haven't validated with 10 people, you haven't done some surveys, you haven't asked some of the influencers in the market. If you haven't done that and based on your internal team discussion, you have decided that this is the GTM that you want to pursue, you are bound to fail. So what we used to do is that, and still we are doing is that we try to find influencers in that geography, people who are well connected, and we tell them very clearly that our interest is not primarily to go and look at their services or something like that, or sell them or sell through them and all that. We go to them and say that we really want to hear you. This is what our value proposition is. I really want to hear you. That what do you think about it? And trust me, when people see that there is a genuine curiosity from somebody to learn that particular aspect, they would be far more open to go and explain to you कि ये तुम ठीक कर रहे हो, तुम ठीक नहीं कर रहे हो. And what input that you get. So you deploy a salesperson there, and then you ask for his opinion. It will always be biased. He will always say that, sir, ये तो 10 times growth is kind of written on the wall. Trust me. So my salary will be like 2x or 3x because of the reason that it is going to give you 20x returns. So never ever ask that sales guy whom you are going to hire or kind of putting that or consultant or whoever that you are going and asking him for the opinion is the last way by which you can build your GTM. He's there to deploy your GTM, not to build your GTM. Your GTM should be built independently with independent set of people. First of all, your own research. How much study that you have done about that geography? The cultural element of that geography with Australia, we realized that we did not pay attention to it, but it is one of the most important one, and that is something which immediately we realized with Europe. So Europe is a geography where the local relationship, generally Europeans would like to work with a big name. They would never like to work with somebody who is, because they never want to manage 20 partners at their side. They would like to go, okay, I want to go to Capgemini will deploy whatever 20 different partners for different technologies and all that. So this is the philosophy. Understanding that cultural element of that geography is extremely important for you to understand how exactly you will really operate. And taking the inputs from all of that and then building your GTM is something which is very, very important. Okay. Then the last part of our journey when we became students, then we realized that okay, we know Southeast Asia also, we have understood South Africa, Ocean Ethiopia. Now this is the time where we feel that now we are strong enough, and interestingly, which is kind of very unique for a SaaS company, we became profitable also. So we are profitable at this point of time. We realized that okay, this is the time when we can take some of the bigger bets also. We went into US. And then US first, again the first step was building a partner. We hired a person, but still we went ahead with the partner only. Because we really didn't want to just go all out on our own and decide कि हमें सब कुछ पता है. And then we went with a partner. Learned the skill. And then we started building our strengths there. Started hiring more people in the US. Now we are in the process of hiring. So we are hiring more people in the US. And now we realize that okay, now that strength has come, the understanding of the market, our value proposition, why customers love us, this element is something uniquely love us. See, generically, all of us know why. That's the reason we are there in that business. Generically, but specifically, why somebody would say, if 1 year down the line I want to go to that customer and ask them, why did you really choose, and is it something really coming out as a value proposition to you or not? Is something which is very important. So, वो part, the sooner that you are able to figure out, and one of the challenges that I have seen personally interacting with most of the SaaS ecosystem is that SaaS world is started by most of the people are techno guys, technology freaks. They understand the technology and they would always look at the value proposition purely from the technology perspective. But the rest of the element is something that generally, I'm generalizing it, but please pardon me for that. They have that kind of a blind spots towards it. They would say that, hey, my solution is something which is so phenomenally well, there is no reason that I will not be able to convince my customer. But it doesn't work like that. Then internationally specifically because you don't know the culture, you don't know what is the operating protocols of that geography, what kind of value proposition that they are really looking for, is it something which is matching with your value proposition or not? Sometimes you consider something as a value proposition, but for them it is not. So all of those elements has to be understood before doing it.